G'day, guys, and welcome to another episode here on the Centre Bounce of the Drive Home on Thursday. Hope you're all doing well. How you doing, Big J?
Mate, I am good. I'm good. Just heading home from work. Got some crazy people on the road doing weird shit in the car park. But yeah, otherwise all right. How's things?
Yeah, it's going all right. It sounds very loud and messy on your side there.
Always, Joe. Living large here at the Centre Bounce, mate. I can't believe
Yeah,
this time, like 6 months ago, the season hadn't started yet.
yeah.
And then now it's like 2 weeks and then the grand final. I really don't understand life and football, and time sometimes just goes so quick, man.
That it does. I'll grant you that. Time flies when you're having fun, and we've had a lot of fun this year. But this is probably the weekend that I'm most excited about from a football perspective. Prelim finals, I think, just tend to be the best ones, bar none. Like it's always said that they are the hardest to win, and you can see everyone puts their bodies on the line. It is incredibly tense because if you lose, you're going home, but if you win, you're going through to the last dance. So these games are always the most exciting, and we've got some really juicy matchups in addition to the fact that the football's going to be so great already. You've got two incredible juicy matchups. The hatred and the rivalry between the Cats and the Hawks, and then the Lions and the Pies. They are themselves like modern day rivals. They've had some really great matchups. This was the grand final a couple of years back, as we all remember, and that was probably the best grand final that we've seen in a long ass time. Seriously, when was the last time we had a good grand final before the Collingwood Brisbane one? There always were smashings, weren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as you say, Joe, I think we kind of said same thing at the start of the just the normal finals was, mate, that every team that's in there is so strong, and week after week after week it's just been good teams, good games, good teams, good games. And then the same thing last week. There hasn't really been any teams. I mean, the Gold Coast game, people say, okay, they got smashed. I don't think it was too bad. But yeah, there's not really been an amazing smashing. Everyone's been pretty consistent, and they've been really exciting games. So, yeah, I think it'll probably end up being the same thing again this week.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the. G'day, guys. Thanks for coming in. Bobblehead Boy, good to see you, mate. It is very exciting. Henry's in. Good to see you, Henry. Whoever wins it, whoever wins out of Hawks, Cats, or Lions this year wins the most flags for the century. The last great one, of course, yes, was 2018. The incredible Dom Sheed kick from the boundary. Who could forget that? But you just look at it. Last year it was a 60-point margin. You had the Collingwood Brisbane, which was great. Then Geelong pumped the Swans by 81, 74 points, 31 points, 89 points. Of course, then we had Dom Sheed. Then you got 48, 22, 46, 63. A couple of close ones back to back involving the Hawks. But really, for the most part, you're just looking at the margins, and the margin's not really very close between the grand finalists. The prelims tend to be the more exciting ones for sure.
Yeah, I think there's been too many grand finals where one team kind of capitulates after half time, right? Going back to memory, it was Melbourne versus the Doggies, where it was really close up until half time, and then Melbourne just like ate some sugar at half time, and the Doggies ate like steaks or something, and then they didn't even come out like of the kennels. So yeah, if you can avoid something like that for a grand final, I think you're doing okay.
Road rage, Big J, beep him. You beep him, Big J. You beep him, mate.
Mate, there's some idiot, like it's green on my side, and they just completely decide to run the red light. I'm like, bro, I'm going to beep this shit out of you. Don't worry about that.
There's
no hearts lost here, mate. I tell you what, about today, right, and the finals in general, is that because it's the final series, we end up having no Thursday games. There was the preliminary finals, when they've got 6 teams playing and all that kind of stuff. But after that, Joe, I miss Thursday finals. I want to go home after the drive home, sit in front of the TV and watch Joe do the commentary again. When's that going to happen? We just don't have it until next year.
That's it. It's done and dusted, baby. Hey, all good things must come to an end, right? It's because it's because of death that life has so much precious meaning to it. So yeah, it's all right.
I'm really surprised. AFLW hasn't taken much advantage over the lack of scheduling in the last couple of weeks, because AFLW play all their games on Saturday and then on Sunday, and then that's it. They get them done. They're really weird times. Often there's games on at the same time, so the scheduling's not great. For the last 3 weeks, you could have had an AFLW game on a Thursday, had one close to being on a Friday, and then get into it for the weekend. So maybe that's something they'll look at doing next year, Joe.
Yeah, look, you were saying something, you were saying how in that game between, Melbourne and the Doggies, how at halftime, I remember that game, and it was an arm wrestle, and it looked like it was getting out of reach in the third quarter when Bont kicked his second goal, had that massive celebration, and then Caleb Daniel pushes over Max Gawn, who hits the ground hard, and then all of a sudden after that, the 5 minutes or whatever, that period of time from that point on was an explosion, the like of which I have never seen in a grand final. That game turned on its head so quickly. Bailey Fritsch, 16 minutes and 34 seconds, kicks a goal. Then a minute later, another one. And then a minute and a half later, another one. And then it was, there was a rush behind. And then Petrarca goals. And then not even a minute later, another one. And then another minute later, another one. It was just the biggest. It was such an explosion that the game was about to go away from them. And then it turned into an absolute smashing. That's why, even though the margin blew out big time in this game, I still consider this to be a really good grand final, the Doggies Melbourne one. Plus, it also was a drought-breaking one for Melbourne. It was 52 years, I think, off the top of my head, it was since Melbourne last won a grand final at that stage. So, yeah, it was just good vibes all around. Even though it was a smashing, it was a good smashing, if you know what I mean. I
kept thinking about 1956 Olympics whenever Melbourne was there, and I'm like, oh, was that the same time as when they last won? I think it was pretty close.
That's it. Jack, mate, how you doing? So happy to see you, and even happier to hear you finally got engaged. Congratulations.
Congrats. That's what, Jack.
Did you get your big rock, Jack? Did it finally arrive in the mail? Please let us know if the nice diamond came in the mail. Charles, how are you, Charles? Good to see you, my friend. Causa, can't wait for next week. Going to North AFLW, Carlton versus Freo, and the Melbourne Storm all on the same day. If I can't get a Storm ticket, I'm going to the Bulldogs versus Collingwood in the AFLW, I would assume as well.
Is that? I assume that's the game versus Essendon at Windy Hill. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a thrashing. You may see a big J there. We'll see. I'm trying to facilitate a ticket. Maybe Joe will come and we can go watch the AFLW, Joe, North versus Essendon. But yeah, it should be a good game. And North AFLW, Joe, 17 in a row, man. They're already saying the bookies have turned it off, Joe. They're saying, no more bets. North Melbourne's winning. So, yeah, they're very, very tough team to beat. And even if we do lose before the 25 or whatever the record is, mate, the women's team is very, very strong.
Oh, they look unbeatable. They really do, and just all the talent all across the park. You'd hope a sliver of that can somehow make it to the men's, don't you? You just wish. But speaking of the men's, so is any word on where Simpkin might be going, or is Simpkin going to stay, or anything you've heard about Jai Simpkin?
I think Simpkin's gone 100%. Just comes down to suitors. I have a feeling there may eventuate some Josh Caddy bombers with Simpkin, and we'll see what happens. That's the
Caddy?
feeling I've got. You know, the one that you've got. Yeah. I reckon there could be some Josh. Who's the caddy that you guys have?
Mate, if you want to get our caddy, at least know his name before trying to get him.
Mate, I get the Moors mixed up. As long as I've got the same last name, I'm okay.
You're talking about Nate, bro. You're talking about Nate.
I think there's some stuff happening in the back ends of that. I just heard as well today that good old Jaden Stevenson is sniffing around for a comeback. So we'll see what happens with that.
Carlton.
I'm thinking them. I'm thinking of Geelong, Joe. If there's a rookie list spot, you know, they somehow got Jack Martin back up and running, and he's in a preliminary final. Jack Martin could play a grand final before Carlton. So there you go. You know, they could do the same thing with Stephenson. He's still mid-20s, so that, you know, prime of his life kind of situation. There'd be no pressure for him to play, and I think they could probably just delist Tanner Bruin at this point and put him in there, and you know there'd be an upgrade in terms of player. So, yeah, it's a lot to go on at the moment for a couple of clubs that never really thought they were going to be at where they're at. We could end up having a somewhat big trade period. We'll see. Windhager's re-signed, which is a bit disappointing for us, but good for St Kilda. So back to the drawing board, I think, a little bit in terms of who's available as well. Mate, yeah, I was called the same Nate Caddy, not Josh Caddy. Yeah.
Mate, it's a really, I don't know, I'm not disappointed. For me, I'm really happy for the Saints. Not because I'm looking down on St Kilda or anything. That's absolutely not my intention. I'm just really happy that the Saints are now in a position where they are retaining their young talent and they're really building for a really promising future. I have nothing bad really to say about St Kilda. They've always just been sort of a bit of a, I don't know, almost not quite a nothing club, but there always just seems to be things going against them, a bit unlucky here and there. Only the one premiership in their history by 1 point. Obviously, the heartbreak from the drawn grand final. Unfortunately, running up against the Juggernaut Cats as well. Like the Saints have been such an almost team for such a long period of time. I'm actually really happy for the Saints that they're getting all the players that they want to get, and they're retaining all the players that they want to retain. Yeah, Josh Battle left last year, which really sucked for him, but I think they've done a really wonderful job leaving that behind and starting a new chapter in their history. So I'm really keen for the Saints. I really can't wait to see how they go next year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's the right time to build a team as well, just because they're the league itself is so strong. They need to do what they're doing now to be competitive. And as you say, Joe, I mean, it's up to the likes of Philippou and all these guys to actually stay fit now to push them over the line, because they can't really do much else in terms of salary cap, in terms of bringing good established players, can they? I mean, maybe one or two more comes, maybe like a Flanders or someone comes again, and then they do like, oh, we've just drafted half the free agents this year, which I guess could happen, but yeah.
Oh, Joshua, I know what you want to say, Joe. Just say it. Say Kilda are irrelevant. It should just merge with North Melbourne. No. The running joke always with St Kilda is that they are always out trying to land a big fish. They're always out there with all this money and this war chest, and they're trying to buy a big fish. For God damn it!
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Rowan Marshall, if they manage to keep him or if he's going. Same with Cal Wilkie, who's got a few suitors after him at the moment. These two players that are probably getting paid a lot less now in terms of what their value is compared to everyone else. So, yeah, if they stay, then fantastic. But I have a feeling that they're both potentially on the outer. I'll be on in a sec. 1 second.
Well, they've got Tom DeConning. They got their man. They got TDK. I don't think they're necessarily going to cry if Roma goes somewhere else. I know we're all going to cry if Roma goes to Geelong because it just makes them even better. And their ruck stocks has always been the one thing that you can always say is subpar. But if they get Rowan Marshall, that just is super annoying from a rest of the league perspective. But yeah, as you say, Henry, I do think the Saints are in a pretty good spot. I actually have them leaping Collingwood next year. I think if they nail, the rest of their selection, they have a fit, fully healthy list. A bit of luck, obviously, in that respect. But I respect the shit out of what the Saints have done. They clearly know that they've got 2 years to go with Nazaya, and they clearly have to show him that they are going to be really competitive and they're going to be relevant from a contendership perspective to show that, hey, your future belongs here, you should stay here. So I respect what they're trying to do. It's really trying to force a change. Couldn't believe the news about Stephen May. Oh, I can, bobblehead. I can, bro. Stephen May, I think, is just one of those players that are like the toxic types that really aren't great for culture. And I mean, we've heard so much about what he's done with his teammates. You've seen the way he's acted with opposition as well. I'm not surprised that a new coach wants to come in, that a new coach wants to instill a new culture in there. He's come from the Cats, obviously, he would have learnt a great deal about what great culture is when you're looking at the Geelong Cats, one of the best run sporting teams in all of Australia. So I personally am not surprised. And I've heard a rumor, apparently, that Max Gawn plainly laid out the game rules, the standards, how things are going to go, and make a decision about whether or not he's going to stay or not based on that. And apparently, he's been shown the door. So for me, I don't necessarily think it's end of the door. Terrible for culture, in my opinion.
100%. I mean, I was surprised that he wasn't sanctioned even further and shown the door and all that kind of jazz after the punch up with Melksham and a few of the other players too, right? So someone will take him, be it a North Melbourne, though I don't think he'd be great for the culture unless he pulls his head in. There's some talk that we're after Lever as well. So imagine if we got May and Lever, Joe, for like a pick in the 20s. That'd be kind of cool. But like it's just some of these players who obviously still have talent, like they can kind of hurt themselves in the long run. And it's like, well, that's it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But bit of a rough one for Stephen May in his twilight.
He turned 34 in January. Wow, he's old, man.
Yeah, man. He was like, I think he was late 20s when he came, because I think he was drafted to Gold Coast, and then he was like late 20s when he went over to Melbourne. So yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Jesus, yeah, nah. I mean, the only club really that would go anywhere near him are clubs that are I just think that are clubs that are really in desperate need of a key defender that don't necessarily care about the baggage that he comes with because they can back in themselves. And someone like, a team like the Bulldogs could potentially have a look at this. He's clearly been let go. He wouldn't really cost them anything to get him across. The Bulldogs are known for really being a key defender short. They don't mind playing an older key defender. You just look at what they've been doing with Liam Jones, for example. I wouldn't be, I personally wouldn't be surprised if Bevo and the Dogs just had a free look at Stephen May and think, hey, you know what? We're going to just plug you here in defense. Your job is to just simply stop your man. Because so many times that's been their problem. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Dogs go for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's probably about 5 or 6 clubs that may. Doggies being one.
May go for May?
They may get him. I think Doggies being one. I think Carlton, seeing as how they were pretty adamant on getting in Haynes and recontracting Haynes. If he comes cheap, I could totally see them going for him. Long shot, maybe a North Melbourne for a year, just to show kind of like the backline guys and be a sure trade in. Geelong, 100%, I could see them being like, cool, you're just there for depth. We'll see what happens if you come in. I know Tom Stewart's been pushed around a little bit as well, potentially playing some other positions. If St Kilda end up losing Wilkie, for example, I could totally see them being like Stephen May, here's 100K, come to our club. It really just depends on how much he's going to demand in terms of trade value and actually salary. Because I think he's contracted for next year, which makes things really tough because he's going to, like any contract he's already signed at Melbourne will have to be absorbed by the club that he's in, unless they completely get rid of him and then put him back. So it's a bit of a weird situation that way. But if he isn't, then that definitely opens up a lot because Stephen May on 200K, well, that rhymes as well, Joe. Stephen May on 200K fixes a lot of teams' issues straight away. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I don't know. I don't think it will necessarily be hard to a trade when the club has told him, see you later, mate. Explore your options. I don't think it will be necessarily very hard to get a trade done in those circumstances. Yeah. I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Thanks, legends. Yeah, the bloody rock arrived the day after I left. Oh my god! But just did it on the weekend last night. Fancy restaurant and a sunset drink by the river. It was lovely. Oh,
there you go.
Nice. You romantic little sucker. Unbelievable. Look at you go. Look at you joke. Look, mate, so happy for you. Well done, man. Congratulations. TDK isn't a forward. He can't kick when he versus real rucks like Witts. He is a shell of himself.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think there's kind of 2. There used to be 3, but I think there's kind of 2 makeups of ruckman these days. You've got kind of the Witts, or maybe 3. Let's say there's 3. You've got kind of the Witts type, the Cherry type, the Riley O'Brien kind of stalwart, big type of player. You've got kind of the Mark Pitnet, the guy that really doesn't do anything apart from standing there. Similar to how I see like a Briggs is kind of the same thing. And then you've got guys like TDK, and I'll put Darcy Cameron in there a little bit, but I think he's put on a bit of muscle recently where he just gets pushed around by the stronger rucks. Like he might do a little bit more around the ground, but in the actual ruck contest, he's not that good. And that's kind of where like Pitnet's had to have played the last few games just so he doesn't get bashed on. And then other teams have been like, oh, we're versing TDK this week. Let's include 2 ruckmen in our team because we can just bash on him. So it's an element of his game I think he really needs to work on if he is going to go to a club. And that's where I thought, when Rowan Marshall's in the team, Marshall can be main ruck and then they can interchange in the forward line. And when, Marshall's not there, TDK comes in. But if Marshall ends up going to Geelong, it almost causes another issue. Now, St Kilda do have a couple of players coming through and, the likes of Massimo has rucked in the past. But it's kind of just bringing what was Carlton's problems over to St Kilda's problems now. So, yeah, it's a bit of a rough one.
I mean, is it really that important that your ruckman has to be a dominant tap ruck?
No, not that they have to be a dominant tap ruck, but they can't get pushed out of the ruck contest, and I think that was happening too much with TDK.
But the rules are changing now. The rules are changing, right?
Well, we'll wait and see to see what happens. But
they're not going to bounce the ball anymore. It's all going to be thrown up, I think.
If it's thrown up and then me and you are still contesting, then the same issues are going to follow TDK across because he can't contest with the other player.
The ball will when you throw the ball up, you're not gonna go there and wrestle. The AFL have come out and said that they're going to change the rules, change the way these happen to cater towards the athletic ruckman. That's what they've come out and said that part of the agenda is that they're going to be trying to help out the athletic ruckman. That is the Tom DeConning types. We are going to see a lot less of those, I think, of those stock standard big lump of men.
Who would you think then? So let's pretend TDK is better next year, and then he's now cheaper in terms of Supercoach Joe. Is that what you're trying to say? So who else would be the other ruckman?
Especially if Roma goes. If Rowan Marshall goes.
Well, I think he is. I think they're basically just trying to facilitate.
Well, there you go.
They have the money. I really don't think St Kilda has the money to get everyone across and then keep him unless they've done incredibly well and front-ended all of the contracts. And I think not Stephen May, Jack Steele probably ends up going as well.
Yeah.
And they end up with a new captain, potentially Wilkie, too, to kind of shore up some of the money. But like who else would be the other ruckman, Joe? Who's the who's those kind of players?
Sam Draper.
If he's fit, yeah. Who else?
Yeah. What from a Supercoach perspective, you were saying those are two.
Like who's got with the Tristan rule change?
Tristan Sherry will always be good. Luke Jackson will always be good. Tim English will always be good. I think, especially now with the potential, rule changes and the way they're going to do it. He's an athletic type. He's not the bullocking type. So these mobile athletic rucks, I think, are going to really benefit. Plus, when you have the last disposal rule, you're going to have less stoppages as well. So the ball's going to be in movement a lot more. It's not going to be stop-start as much as it used to be. So those big, stocky rucks, Darcy Cameron will always be good because Darcy Cameron's best work is when he goes behind the ball and takes the intercept marks. It's not necessarily from the ruck contests. So I don't necessarily think that, all of these mobile athletic rucks are still going to be fine. If Max Gawn, you can't discount Max Gawn. He'll still be good. Just a question of how does this new coach now in his later age start to transition him out? So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ruck options out there, but really, ultimately, it's whoever's going to be the number one. Who's the number one? St Kilda need to play. St Kilda need to overplay. St Kilda need to overpay players to stay.
Nah, I think that as the team gets better, that notion definitely drops. And I think St Kilda may end up turning into, if they can play this properly, I think St Kilda may end up turning almost to a GWS or a Geelong, where the players will see, well, if I take a bit of a pay cut or get paid less, that means another superstar comes in. And I feel like they're going to end up being in that situation sooner rather than later. So I disagree, Josh.
I think there might have been a time, like now, for example, that they've had to pay. They've had to pay Nazaya $2 million a year for 2 years. The first player in the history of the game to be on $2 million for a single season. That was always going to happen, and I think in that circumstance they needed to do it because if he left them, that would have been
huge.
Massive. Absolutely massive. There are some players that are so important for your team and that are Brownlow capable, Brownlow level worthy, top 5, top 3 player in the league was Nazaya, so there are some players that deserve for you to really pay up to keep. I mean, you could sort of say it's the same thing about West Coast. They're paying Harley Reid $2 million a year as well. So. But at some point, though, yes, when times are tough, you might have to do that. But the hope is that you overpay them to keep them, so that those great players can transform your club into a good one, and then it becomes a destination club for others to want to join those great players that you have. So I can see them getting better as the season goes on, in terms of retaining their talent. Who would you rather have on your list? Jamara, Tanner Bruin, or Steve May? Oh my God.
Well, I mean, I saw a sneaky training photo that has Jamara heading over to
Sydney?
Has Jamara having over to St Kilda. So
we'll
see.
St Kilda.
We'll see. We'll see if that ends up
they're buying everyone
coming true. But yeah, it's if you had to pick pure talent, you'd go Jamara every day of the week. He's just hard to pass up. I don't think he's been as bad, but they're just idiot friends. That's all it really comes down to. It's the same problem with Taron Thomas, and unfortunately, I'm not going to say all three are Indigenous because I don't know about Tanner Bruin, but sometimes these guys just get in with the wrong crowds, and then good careers just fall to the wayside, really, and just kind of wrong crowds, wrong time, and that's it. So, yeah.
Can I say Noah Bolter?
Noah Bolter. We almost got him. He should have got traded to North Melbourne.
Yeah, Noah Bolter's another one, Josh. Yeah, you forgot about him. I don't think Tanner Bruin will ever see another game. Probably not. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I don't think he plays anymore. I think he's done. Thoughts on your boy Ridley possibly going over to my Lions, Joe? If we can get Allen, Draper, and Ridley, they'll be elite. Nah, Rids is staying. Rids has had some really good talks with Matthew Innes, our new head of strength and conditioning, and he's already undergoing pre-season training with him at the hangar. So I'm very confident, and even so that's my mail. My mail is that he has been convinced to stay after speaking to our new acquisitions, the new guy. And Andy McGrath also, in his interview with Xander Maguire, also expressed his extreme confidence that Rids is going to stay. So I'm pretty confident that Rids stays personally. But yeah, I think you guys are still going to be wonderful with Allen and Draper added to the side. I think Oscar Allen, I think a lot of people forget how good Oscar Allen is, because he's been sort of out of sight, out of mind a little bit, plus the injury, then the whole controversy about him meeting with Sam Mitchell. I really think Oscar Allen is a wonderful pickup for the Lions, especially after to replace, to fill the hole that Joe Danaher left behind. I think he can be a great forward for you, and he can, he has the ability to swing, be a great utility. Draper seems to have finally flicked the switch in his head about what it means to be a professional athlete. And just before he got injured, he was playing incredibly well for us at the start of the year. So going to join a good culture, going to join a good club that's really good at keeping people fit and healthy, I think Draper will maybe give you his best at the Lions. So, I mean, you guys should still be well and truly in flag favoritism next year as well. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it.
100%. 100%.
There's two physical rucks that manhandle rucks or tap rucks or aerial rucks, or actually there's three, he says. The all-rounder that taps, takes marks around the ground, and are physical. And I would imagine someone like a Tristan Sherry is the exact type of player like that.
Yep. Bro's leading the tackle count across the league, Joe. He's,
yeah.
Yeah.
So Tristan Sherry comes to mind. Lloyd Meek is pretty good at that as well.
He's definitely getting better.
Meeky, blessed of the meek. Sean Darcy, when he's flying, when he's fit and healthy, Sean Darcy can be a bit of a dominant player, taking marks, pushing forward, hitting the scoreboard, but you never see it from him because his body's always breaking down. Luke Jackson is the perfect prototype. I mean, Luke Jackson is such a unicorn. He honestly, is a midfielder. He's just a tall midfielder. He can be at that centre bounce with Darcy tapping the ball down, and he can be an extra midfielder. That's just how insane Luke Jackson is. He's a cheat code, Luke Jackson. And he's still so young still. How old is Luke Jackson? Is he like 25 or something?
Nah,
or 26?
younger,
26?
younger than that, I think.
23? He's
Yeah,
23 still.
Yeah, he went over to I think he went over to Freo basically just after his first contract. So he would have done 3 years at Melbourne, and then he's headed over to Freo. So yeah, he's still very, very young, man.
Oh my God,
Good
this
player,
guy. Far out. He is. It's insane. TDK's not one of the just look. Look. You can compare the pair, and you can say that TDK is better than Luke Jackson. But Luke Jackson is staying at Fremantle, whereas TDK was open to being bought and being acquired. The Saints got who they could get, and they got just because Luke Jackson is a phenom and is a unicorn, the likes of which haven't seen before, doesn't mean that TDK is not worth pursuing as a ruckman. Personally, he shines against rucks that aren't that fast. He never hits the ball to advantage. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's different. Tell me when you've seen TDK hit the ball to advantage. He's average. He is average at this. That's what the stats say. He is average for rucks, but he can give you clearances. He can give you disposals. He can give you around the ground type of stuff. Doesn't have to be. I've never considered. Seriously, are rucks that important to winning a flag?
I don't think. I don't think they're that important, but it's good to have a really dominant one in your team.
It's good to have a dominant anything.
Well, and I mean, like you have to have a half decent one. Let's pretend, right? The best ruck in the league is 100%. You can get away with having an 80% ruckman. You don't need the best ruck in the league, but you do need someone who can have a dominant presence around the ground. I mean, that's how Collingwood won it with Darcy Cameron. Yes, he's got better. That's how other clubs have won it with their ruckmans as well. McInerney and Darcy fought. You know, they're not the best ruckman, but they're good enough to doing their job. So I think you have to have a half decent ruckman, but they don't have to be the best ruckman in the league. If you have the worst ruckman in the league, then you just can't win the grand final. Like, I'm sorry, you just can't. So, yeah.
The thing was another thing to remember about Tom De Koning this year is that he did have the contract hanging over his head the whole year. Talks of if he's staying, if he's going. This really was a bit of a nothing year, really, for him, with all of the question marks and the drama and all that jazz. And I don't necessarily think that this was an awful season. There's definitely still upside to him. He can definitely play better. And in a game that's going to be moving away from repetitive stoppages with the last disposal rule, in a game where there's going to be rules that are going to be helping out the athletic ruckman as opposed to the stocky ones, I do think that there is upside in Tom De Koning playing for St Kilda, and I can understand why they went for him. I personally can. If they don't think that Rowan Marshall can get the job done for him, I've heard from some St Kilda supporters that there might be issues with Rowan Marshall's back and that he really can't be the main ruckman for a whole season because it's just going to continue to wear him down. I do think that Tom De Koning is still one of the better ruckmen because he provides you with more things around. I don't necessarily think he's a bum. I don't think he's a bust. I don't think St Kilda have done the wrong thing in trying to get someone like him because the game is changing, in my opinion. Oh, Mark.
Thank you very much, Mark. Hope you're having a good Thursday night. Oh, shit. Over this media bullshit in Melbourne, Joe. Go over and kill. I can't even read this, Joe.
He's telling me because I'm in Melbourne. He wants me to go and kick them up the kick the media up the ass. Just say I send my love and just shut the F up. Shut up about Essendon. We are not in finals. Here, Mark. Stop talking about us. We are not in finals. We are in the prelim goddamn finals. Prelims. Stop talking about us. And it's Jay Clark. Bro, Jay Clark. What's going on?
You know why they talk about you, right? It's just because, like, it's similar to a North Melbourne. The fans will eat up anything that's said. So if someone talks about us, our guys will comment. The same thing with Essendon. There's a couple of teams in the AFL there. They just don't. Like, no one talks about GWS because their fans don't watch the media. Their fans just don't look at the stuff. You know, there's no contraction. There's no traction when it comes to those things and things going viral and everything like that. Whereas for certain clubs, 100% there is. So, yeah, that's just why.
Oh, mate, you're right. I'm taking Sherry over TDK. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Taking Meek over TDK.
Mostly, yeah. Yeah, we'll see how he goes in the finals, but 100% could see that happening.
Look, Meek's a good player. Meek's is a good player.
I think
he might not have the ceiling. He doesn't have the ceiling.
Hawks get merit, and then the team gets better overall again.
Yeah.
He'll get a lot more hit outs to advantage because I think Meek was really good, but then when what's his face Ward kind of came out, didn't really happen. So
I reckon TDK
will
have a higher ceiling, but I think Meek has a much higher floor. I think you're going to get less shit games out of Meek maybe than out of TDK if he's really shut out of ruck contests. But then again, we've never seen what this new game is going to look like moving forward next year with last disposal, with throw ups.
I think Cherry does a lot around the ground. Meek definitely has added that to his game. I'd almost say Meek's probably good for at least one goal a game. In that Hawthorn forward line, see him take a lot of grabs just inside the forward 50. So, you know, if you could say, hey, Meek's going to take a goal a game at least and be a forward marking target, definitely adds something a little bit more to the game.
Yeah. Well, TDK's had the disadvantage of playing in a 2-ruck system with Pitane, where Pitane can't play anywhere else but in the ruck. So DeConning ends up being relegated as the third tall for Carlton behind Mackay and Curnow. And they're the ones that always get targeted. So DeConning for a lot of his career, unfortunately, has just been left languishing in no man's land, really. You know, so I do feel a bit sympathetic towards him. And if St Kilda are going to pay him big bucks to be their main man, I think we're going to see a more consistent output out of him. That's all I say.
He'll be a bit of a difference at, you know, probably 400k or a little bit less. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean DCAM as well. I mean DCAM is enjoying the benefits of being the number 1 ruck. And he does provide a lot of excellent things around the ground, taking intercept the number 1 intercept marking ruckman in the league. Very impressive, absolutely. You don't really get that too much from DeConning, but again, he hasn't had that long to be just the solo guy. Tim English can go back. Yep. Yeah, so these are all of these guys we've mentioned already, and that they're all going to benefit from the new system. Wrong.
Tim English takes kickouts, Joe.
Yeah, I know. Darcy Cameron gives his mids first use. It depends on who he's rucking against. I don't think he's going to be the all-time. You got to watch the game, not watch how flashy DeConning looks. DeConning looks flashy. He's just another midfielder.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Joe's right a little bit about the extra forward. I mean, it was a bit of a tricky one having Mackay and then Curnow going down at periods of time, and then TDK having to play a lot more forward or be a lot more accountable in that forward line. Lewis Young, I think, did okay there, but yeah, it's all right. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I don't think he's a good forward. No, I didn't say he's a good forward. I'm saying that he's stuck in no man's land because there's no way he's being targeted ahead of Mackay and Kerno. They're the guys that you're targeting. So he is stuck being essentially an ineffective third tall because he really should not be playing as a forward. He is a ruckman. So not only has he been played out of position, but he's also been left doing basically nothing, languishing in no man's land, having no impact on games, having no impact. He's a number one ruck. That's his job, and he hasn't. And you cannot say that he's really had a long period of time at Carlton where he's been given that role. No, I completely agree. He's definitely not a forward. You're picking him as a ruckman, or you're not picking him at all, in my opinion. He's not like Jackson, who can play as a forward and in the ruck. Like, Jackson is a unicorn. Jackson can play midfield, ruck, and forward. Like, Jackson can do it all. Like, Jackson is probably my favorite ruckman in the league. I know it's blasphemy against Max Gawn, but
I just Cherry, bro. Cherry for me.
Sherry is just a big man tackling people. I love skill. I love the skill from Jackson. G'day, Tatum. Anyway, good to see you, my friend. His disposal efficiency is terrible every game. Just puts the ball in his boot. He played for Carlton. And seriously, Tom, how many Carlton players can you say have been really good at moving the ball by foot? He's, a product of his environment, unfortunately.
Sam Walsh before he got injured.
TDK is good, but he still needs to play as number one rocket. Yeah, exactly. So there is chance. There's a chance for him to show his worth. The St Kilda have absolutely taken a massive gamble here. Like 1.7, 1.8, whatever it is that they're paying him, is a massive gamble on a ruckman of all positions. But interesting strategy. We'll see if it plays off for him. When was Jack Silvani worth 900k? He can't even play more than 313 games.
Yeah, it's the power of the league and free agency and everything at the moment, where these players, if you're a tall player who has some skill and is available, huge contracts start coming your way. I mean, what's his face? Naziah got paid heaps and things like that as well, but they definitely, like, if you're I mean, that was the Ben Mackay, right, from a couple of years ago, where how's this guy worth 1.2 million, whatever the number was, and it's like, he's available. People scoffing at Bruce and Battle and these guys getting, not Bruce, Battle and Barras getting paid huge money, and it's like, well, they're available, they're on the free market, clubs are going to ask for them. A lot of clubs have money to spend, especially with the salary cap going up. So, right, if players are stupid to sign big contracts, you should sign 3-year contracts or 2-year contracts every so often to keep you into free agency and then get paid big bucks. There's no reason why players should be signing 8-year contracts. Like, it is the dumbest thing ever, because you're missing out on so much money. Like, you just, it's bananas. So, it's a bit dumb.
St Kilda doing what they have to, but they're still just going to be stuck in the mud. Besides Zion, they need a Butters type, some real A-grade talent. Spending that much money on DeConning, JSOS, Aaliyah, and Flying Ryan will blow up in their face badly. Only TDK is borderline elite, and they've already got Romo. Well, if you gotta,
well, we'll see.
You got to do something. Like, you got to shake the tree a little bit. You have to send a message to your star in Naziah. You've managed to convince him to stay for 2 years. The only way you can possibly get him to commit further than these 2 years and hope to get some others to join him is to try and be relevant and genuinely finals relevant and contending. Because if they're not in this 2-year window, then Naziah is absolutely walking out the door and is going back home to South Australia.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. He almost did it now, but the Saints have to show them this. They have to do whatever they can. I don't blame them. I commend them for it. It's obviously risky. in who they're picking, but especially at that price, at those prices, very incredible prices. And like we said, it's an interesting strategy. We'll see what happens there. I can see where nobody wants Stephen May and he has to finish up at the Ds. I reckon the Dogs look at him. I think the Dogs should look at him. They need a key defender. North might look at him. Because you guys need key defenders as well. So there are a few clubs that might look at him. Do you know why Tanner Bruin isn't playing another game? What Tatum said, bruv. Callum Archie to Adelaide will be good for them. Is Callum Archie going to Adelaide?
Yeah, man. That's kind of the rumor. I don't know why he would. I don't know why he would, but that's the rumor. Joe, we're going to check out the team sheets.
Are you kidding me? Callum Archie is going to Adelaide.
AFLW team sheets out as well.
Holy crap, what a pickup! What a pickup!
Mm-hmm.
Bro, who's the list manager at Adelaide? They are cooking. The list manager at Adelaide is absolutely cooking. Wow. I heard that they're looking to maybe get Merritt as well. That would also be a great pickup for him. But wow, Archie. Man, he just flies under the radar. He was so good in the finals. Oh, man, that's good. Well done, Adelaide. Well done, Adelaide. That's really good. Yeah, he's a great player. Absolutely makes him better. You see what someone like Neil Bullen did for him with the forward mid combination, the connection, incredibly well. Only way DeConning works for Saints if they trade Romo to Geelong, but in reality, Romo is a safer bet. I think I've heard his back isn't great. I've heard his back isn't. Yeah, he's had to seek specialist for that. Sherry in English, make for me next season in Supercoach unless it's someone else that's too cheap to ignore. Well, if Romo does go to Geelong, then Romo has to be in the picture.
Yeah,
and
I'm looking at someone from the likes of Essendon too, depending on who you're rocking.
Yeah, maybe Vigo, but we'll be rotating. Maybe Lockie Blackiston, I don't know. But I'm thinking if Romo goes to Geelong, then Romo for sure. And that also then means that DeConning is solo rucking. So that it could very well just be Romo and TDK. Could very well be. Who has more upside, TDK or Luke Jackson? Bro, you can't compare. Are you kidding me? Where's the comparison? Luke Jackson, of course. Hard one to answer, Tom. TDK could go on a little bit, be solo ruck. Yeah, but I still think TDK is. I still think Luke Jackson's the man. He can play anywhere. Matt Langy! G'day, Langy. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Joe compared TDK versus a Luke Jackson. I mean, Luke Jackson can play forward better than TDK can. Luke Jackson has been training a bit more in the midfield, so he can play as a midfielder, receiving tap-outs. He can go into the ruck himself. In fact, he was the ruck. He was the ruck that changed the game for Melbourne in that grand final against the Dogs. And Max Gawn said he's doing the job. He can get the job done. And in that burst, who was rucking at that time? It was Dogger. I'm all in on Dogger, bro. He's my man. Good to see you, Mark. He's content now. He's content now. He's paid. Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe he plays with a load off his back then as a result. Most important part of not mentioning Jose is only only if he's playing as a number one ruck. Correct. Okay, Hurley was keen to leave. He was initially. He was, but we've spoken to him. Merritt is definitely going. Yes, Merritt is definitely going, which is shocking for you guys. Lions will probably lose Starcevich, so we'll need to replace him. Archie won't make our 22. Look, Archie going is, if he's going to Adelaide, that's a wonderful acquisition for them. It wouldn't be the end of the world for you by any stretch, and I don't think losing Starcevich will be the end of the world either, but that's what happens to premiership sides that are chock-block full of talent. Others start poaching them. Got an Adelaide for money? Yeah, it's fine. Next year, preseason will be very important for Supercoach to see players. Exactly, Charles. 100%.
Good time to make content too.
Exactly. I'm sticking with Cameron for the ruck, not picking the Hawks only because of the drama queen Mitchell. Love it, Mark. If that was Luke Jackson playing a ruck forward role, he would be able to work it out. Yeah, agreed. TDK couldn't work it out. He's a one-trick pony. He's the number one ruck. That's his job. That's what he is. Not everyone has the same skill set. Hence why Saints need to get rid of Romo. Yep, correct. I agree. EPL scored 123 and NFL scored 512. Very nice. I've had such a bad weekend, Mark.
How is the team's not out yet?
I have not looked at anything in terms of sporting. Walsh was a good kick. Really? I don't know. I thought
he was pre-injury, and I think he kind of did not great to himself, and then it's not good.
So
he bombs it long now. That's it.
Yeah, he just bombs it long. All right. So Will Parker dropped. Jeremy Howe comes back in for the Pies. Yep. All right. They're going to risk him. They haven't risked Bobby Hill. They haven't brought back Bobby Hill, so Bobby Hill's not playing. Okay. Jeremy Howe is really important for the Pies. Really important. No changes for the Lions. Gee, can you believe it? Would you believe it if Lachie Neale played if they were to win? Could you believe if Lachie Neale was to play in the grand final next week?
Yeah, I could totally see it happening. I think I saw some pictures of him at training, kicking the ball around and doing that kind of thing. Maybe he ends up being the sub Joe, and then they get on, and then they just sub you on in the fourth quarter. But yeah, could totally see that happening, I think.
Yeah. I'd only consider him in Supercoach if he's solo ruck and super cheap. The reason why we were talking about him, Tatum, was because it actually stemmed from us talking initially about the Saints, re-signing Marcus Winhager for 4 years. And so we just started talking about, really happy for the Saints being able to get the players that they want to get. They're re-signing the players that they want to re-sign, and that things seem to be really on the up for them. So we were just talking about that, and then the discussion ended up becoming uberly focused on TDK, because there's a few people who are in the chat who just loved roasting the guy for some reason. I've got nothing personal against him, but there's some people in here who really feel strongly about Tom DeConnie. Surely just admit his dad is obsessed with breaking the bank. Yeah, maybe, but he also knows because he was in charge of obviously the list at Carlton, so he knows what Carlton can match and what they can't match. Paid Zach Williams 1.6 mil for Zach Williams was because you wanted to play him as an on-baller, if I recall. You'd brought Zach Williams to play as a ruck rover, not to play as a half-back flank. Unfortunately, he had a couple of injuries, big injuries, and it didn't work out. Wilkie to the Dogs is low-key, still very alive too. Can't blame him. Getting less than 800k at the Saints, but offered now over $1 million at the Dogs. Ooh. Oh, Charles gone. All good. Have a good one, Charles. Good luck to your Lions, mate.
Catch you later.
Steven Silvani is the worst list manager. All these moves will bite him on the Australian dollar ass.
We'll see.
Like it has for us at Carlton. He did it with Chera, Williams, Sard. Bro, Sard was all Australian. Sard was all Australian. Chera, unfortunately, his body has really let him down. But how good has Chera been this year? He's been a lot better with some continuity.
I think Chera's more been a destruction of how to explain. Other people are getting focused a lot more in that Carlton team than Chera, so he just gets relegated to playing forward, playing back, playing halfback, moving around, being stuck on the bench. They're still a George Hewitt focused team, and it's just murdered Chera. So Williams, I can understand pure injuries and whatnot, but I think Chera, especially this year, has been a bit crazy.
Yeah. With so many requests in trades, do you think the AFL will consider clubs trading without consent? Nah. I wish, but that ain't happening. It's not going to happen. I can't. The Players Association will absolutely burn down AFL House. I don't blame him. Good on. Yeah, exactly. Got to try 100%. 100%. Doggies have already said no to Stephen May. Fair enough. Who wants that shit feed in their team? Give us a couple of years and we'll blow up in their face. They're going to try something. They only have a couple of years of Nazaya.
They're going to be stuck in the middle of that. They can't. St Kilda fans are desperate, and the club itself is desperate not to be stuck in the middle of the park again. They can't just be like 10 to 12 on the ladder again and again and again every year. They play a bit of finals, and then they come in, and then they get kicked out of the top 8 towards the end of the season. So, yeah, it's crazy.
But they got to try something. They have to shake. They have to shake the tree. They have to show Nazaya that we're doing this to be competitive and to be successful. And it could very well blow up in their face in a couple of years. But at the same time, you can't forget they do have some good young talent in the side that will improve over time with more development. It's not like it's not like they're an old aging team that's all in on the now. They do have quite a few good young players in the side. Carlton surely want May. Maybe.
Could happen.
But
if they get him cheap.
How good does that make the Crows forward line? Massive pace. Do we think...
One of the biggest problems they've had is not having Rankin in the midfield, and I think throwing someone like an Archie in that forward line is another part that pushes her out. Well, not pushes her out, sorry, pushes him out from there and opens things up a lot for him. So it's good.
Do you think Tex retires? And they play the two talls? Fogarty, Hillthorpe?
Well, see, I don't think Fogarty's. I think Fogarty works better as the number 3. I don't think he works good as the number 2. To be honest,
192 centimeters. He's not boy.
It's like he reminds me of Cam Zerha, where when we've got two talls and Fogarty's kind of the guy that can be elusive, then it works out really well for him. Whereas I don't think Fogarty works taking the attention or getting the attention. I would say they need a number 3 for Fogarty to work in the team. Because he just gets... When he gets the attention and he's just left like taking the best kind of number 2 defender, I think it hurts his game too much. He wants to be the one that you leave alone. That's like, hey, I've left you alone, and then cool, yep, Darcy Fogarty's just taking a mark because no one's watching him.
Nah, bro, Fogarty's better than that. I think he's struggled with the 3. I think he's struggled as the 3rd. Playing as the 3rd, he disappeared like fog. I don't know. He needs to be given more responsibility. He's a big boy. He's 25. The time is now for him to step up and take control of his life and control of his future. Like, he has to, in my opinion. I think the 3 talls, as Kane Corn said, 3 talls very rarely work. Mark, you are a very generous man. You do not have to keep paying us, my friend. We will read your comment. I promise we will read your comment, Mark. But thank you very much, you very generous human being. Essendon should take May. We have Mackay. No, we are not getting May. Mark, we already have enough drama at Essendon. We do not need Stephen May. Please, don't do that. Oh, yeah, Petrarca. If they get Petrarca as well, he'd be a perfect fit for him, in my opinion. Big J, the money is mainly the players, managers driving the force behind most of these contracts.
Well, I think so. I mean, like, a player's not going to say pay me more. The manager's going to say, well, why are you paying all these other people, my clients here, and putting in the work and check out his stats and everything? You should be paying him more. Like, just straight up, that's just how it works. So, I think that's pretty obvious. The player managers are the ones that are typically doing it. But that's kind of they have to. That's their job, right? You can't just sign a player for 10 years to a club, pay him $50, and then, oh, well, my job's done, I'm going to leave. Like,
Luke Jackson wants to fall. Mate. No arguments from me. Which prelim will be the better game? Oh, man, it's...
I reckon the Hawks. Hawks Geelong, I think.
No changes for that game.
I reckon it'll be Hawks Geelong. Brisbane Collingwood could end up going lopsided very, very quickly, whereas I think Hawks Geelong... I don't even know. Like, I'm going to say Hawks Geelong, but it could be either. Let's be honest.
Look, if the Pies lose, then this game will be better. Otherwise, it's probably going to be Geelong Hawthorn. I just don't want Collingwood to win at all costs. Please. I have an ABC policy. It's very simple. Anyone but Collingwood. That's all I care about. Come on, Lions. Come on, Brisbane. Please do it.
ABC policy.
I have an ABC policy. Anyone but Collingwood. And it works for Carlton as well. If Carlton are in it, anyone but Carlton. But really, in this case, it's really anyone but Collingwood. Let's be real. I'm gonna back in the Cats and the Hawks. This is the rivalry between these two, off the charts. Off the charts. Blue Ballers. I'm a Carlton fan. Dogger is way. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
No one was arguing otherwise. Okay. Just to be clear, no one ever said here that DeConning is better than Dogger. All right? Just to be clear, no one said that. That is a red herring if I've ever seen one. Only change across both games, Jeremy Howe. Yeah, it's right. I'm so pumped to go to this game as a neutral. It's great fun. Have some beers with a mate and just enjoy the game. No stress, bro. So lucky. So lucky. I'd love to go. Who's winning this weekend? I think the Pies and the Hawk. I'm going the other way. I'm going the Cats and the Lions.
I've gone Hawks Brisbane.
But we're both on the Lions. Emma King still can't get a game for North.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think just North's just so good, Corey, and I think they'll she'll get a game soon enough. Someone will get injured, she'll be back in.
Yeah,
so no drama
I lost her.
She's getting old too. Yeah, she's not a
15, 18. Oh my God, Mark! Your Bears have gone into hibernation, mate. This is unbelievable. Funny part is I really rate Ross Lyon as a coach. One of the best coaches to not yet win a flag, in my opinion. Should have at Saints the first time. Yeah, I mean, he's taken two different teams to grand finals. You don't do that with luck. You don't. So, and people can be criticized a lot. People criticize Ross Lyon a lot for slow, boring, shut-down game style. But when the Saints are playing free-flowing, aggressive football, it is really good to see. Really good to see. And it takes some special fortitude to admit when you're wrong and to adapt to a new game style, to a new era of football. He's done it. I don't think older coaches like, Clarko, I don't think Clarko has done well in adjusting the game plan from what was really good at Hawthorn to now. I don't think Brad's been doing very well in this current landscape. Some coaches can be really stuck in their ways and not being able to adapt. I think Ross, despite, Ross the boss or Cuddly Ross, he's done a good job in adjusting a little bit more. So kudos to him. I agree. Did you guys see Rochelle wearing the Thilthorpe bead? I did see that. And apparently Corn said Thilthorpe wasn't being respectful in the national anthem with his tongue out. I actually didn't even see that. His tongue was out during the national anthem? That's just silly. It's just silly. Wasn't being respectful. Stuff it. What do you mean? He's allowed to do it. If he wants his tongue sticking out of his mouth, he's allowed to do that. Leave him alone. Leave him alone, Cornsey. Jesus. No need to make bloody fuss over everything. Drama queen over there. No. Cats are smashing the Pigeons and the Pies to win. The Pigeons.
We'll see,
He's
Mark.
calling them the Pigeons.
We'll see. We
The
shall see.
Hawthorn Pigeons. Oh, that's so funny. I love that. I love that from you, Mark. The Hawthorn pigeons. That's really good. It's like, look at all those chickens, and they're all like geese or something. I don't know. It reminds me of that meme. Look at all those chickens. On your mark. Love to see it. Look, I don't know. The Hawks can certainly give the Cats a run for their money. Where I'm concerned for the Hawks is the lack of leg speed in the middle.
Yep.
In the midfield. Like, I do think they are very Jai Newcomb reliant to do a lot of the heavy lifting for him, and he's going to copy the Mullen tag.
Their best midfielder's not there. Like, he has to.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Good for Supercoach
I
finals.
I would not mind, though. I would not mind if the Hawks won it all this year, and then it makes Zach Merritt look even weaker, joining a premiership winning team. You know what I mean?
You think Zach Merritt really cares?
No, Zach Merritt does not care. He's even withdrawn from, that event that was supposed to be with all of the captains. He's not doing it anymore. Dyson Heppel will be taking his place now in that. What a joke. What a coward. Holy crap. I can't wait to see the back of him. I cannot wait to see the back of Zach Ferret. Honestly, he's had zero class, composure, courage. It's just been skullduggery. It's been behind the scenes. It's been using his manager. It's been leaking various things, burning relationships at the club. He's gone about it in one of the most scumbaggy ways I have ever seen. It's to think that this guy was our captain for a couple of years, bro. He thinks he's had it tough, bro.
Look at what though? It's up to your club at that point to then kind of do the old, Gold Coast won finals when Rankin wasn't there. It's up to Essendon to do the same now. Yep. Be like, hey, if you're going to be like this, then that's fine. We'll just win all these games and we'll do really well. And then you guys, Zach Merritt gets stuffed. So if that's how it's got to be, that's how it's got to be. Yeah.
Raise a dog. We'll do the best and fairest. It's a good question, Tatum. I've heard from someone who tends to have connections that at this stage he will be going. But I would not be surprised if he changes his mind and does not go.
He's going to get booed, man.
Oh, he's going to get booed for sure.
Why would you go?
Because he's going to win it. Unless, of course, the club doesn't let him win it and just gives it to Archie Roberts.
Archie Roberts.
I think he'd be the second guy. I think for sure I think Archie Roberts is gonna be the runner-up. The season he's had has been sensational for us. He's definitely tarnished it off. It's in the trash. It's in the gutter. Disgusting. I've never seen a captain act in this way. Any captain.
Like, how bad was it? I don't remember, but how bad was it when Stephen May left? Was it a similar kind of situation?
It was a free agent. Free agent. He left as a free agent.
Yeah, but was it like as bad as, there's going to be all this stuff going on and kind of behind people's backs and all that kind of stuff?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No. Brother and I, Zach has a table by himself between the Bombers table and the Pigeons table. Give him a little stool. Give him a stool. Don't even give him a chair. Let him stand up the whole night. No chair even. Stuff him. Absolutely stuff him. He has lowered himself in everybody's eyes. Everybody's eyes. His reputation absolutely has been tarnished a fair bit. 100% agreed with you, Tatum, there. Meanwhile, at the Gold Coast Suns, they've delisted Sexton. He's probably not going to get a gig anywhere, is he? 31-year-old.
I think there would have been potential if list management was a little bit better. If list sizes were a bit bigger, could totally see a world where that happens. But there's not going to be much appeal for it, man. Really?
No, I don't think so. I do not think so. I think you got a point there. Any other rumors floating around about people going away? I think Chester's going to Carlton. Campbell
Who?
Chesser?
Yeah. There's been some talk that is in the books. I don't know. I think Campbell Chesser is actually up for contract, so it wouldn't surprise me. Campbell Chesser.
It's fine. Campbell Chesser's
Carlton just
Carlton might be better.
their run of like whichever fraud player wants to come to the club this year. Be interesting to see what happens with Elijah, if he ends up staying or going, or what ends up happening with him. Elijah Hollins is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I
think what's his face? Lockie Neal might be
it's going to be interesting.
Getting ordered by West Coast, apparently. I think West Coast is looking at Lockie Neal.
I think there's a couple of clubs, like if he's available, obviously you go for him. Like it's a bit dumb not to. But I think there's a few clubs that are just kind of like, hey, are you wanting to go home? What's the dealio?
What's the dealio?
What's going on, basically? Lockie Neal, like, are you staying? Are you going? What's happening in terms of contract and whatnot? So we'll see. It's definitely something to play out with Lockie Neal, I think.
There's 40 rumors. 40 of them. Wow.
Yeah.
Ungettable. There's talks of CJ from Hawks going to Carlton. I don't know if that's really a possibility.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I don't. Is he named? Quickly check. Is he named?
Yeah, I think so. I'm back here, GF.
No.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So he's interchange, right? So there was some talk that maybe a Butler and then Jaff potentially could be going. He's a good player. I think he's just always. I don't know what it is, to be honest with him. I don't know if he's like rubbed someone the wrong way or not enough the right way, or just a weird situation. Like feels like one of those players that as a team gets better, he gets found out as maybe not being that good. And that's kind of what's happened with Jaff. So if he's got to leave the club to get more opportunity, I don't think Carlton. I don't think the Hawks are going to miss him that much, to be honest.
Yeah, but good gets, really good gets for Carlton. Just someone like a CJ is a shrewd pickup. Great athleticism.
They've got too many that are probably not leaving is not the right word, but they've got too many that are holding them up, that they need to start getting some of this really good young talent to come in, or not injured young talent. There was a comment before about Sard, and I'm like, Sard's not going anywhere, mate. Like he's cooked.
I don't know about that, Mark. I think the club has moved on from James to the point where I don't even think he really knows what's happening at all inside the four walls of the club.
Yeah.
So I think what he's getting really is information passed on to him from Zach and his manager. But in terms of the big picture inside Essendon, I think as a club we have moved on and we've left Jimmy Hurd behind, and he doesn't have that influence anymore. He doesn't have Sheeds in that position of power anymore to be able to wave it around. He doesn't have Dodoro. All those old guard, all of the old connections and friends that James Hurd had at the club, they're all gone. It's a new board. It's a new coach. It's a new CEO. It's a new president. And yeah, I don't think Hurd is coming back. I personally don't think. If he was going to come back last time before Brad got his job, I think was his last chance. But even then, it didn't happen. So I don't think Hurd is coming back. So the Henry V, I'd be happy with that. CJ always looked good. If he can get that soft tissue stuff right, indeed.
Which is the big thing,
yeah. Carlton getting Chesser and Liam Reedy so far. Yep. Elijah's gone apparently.
Yeah, I mean, like he got pushed out basically. Like he had the nose problems. That's the only thing I'm going to talk about. He's had the nose issues, and 100% he's basically been pushed out. I mean, they didn't pay much for him. They gave him enough chances, but at some point, mate, like someone's got to take him now. He may go to a Geelong, as much as we hate it, just for the fact that they, are really good at rehabilitating these not old players, but these players that have issues. Could totally see him going to a Geelong and doing okay. He's definitely got the talent. That's never been the problem. He just doesn't have the people around him to say, "Hey, pull your finger out and do better."
Felix the cat. I don't even know if he wants to play for us, man. I heard some other things about Elijah Hollins, but don't want to say what. Ooh. Not good. It's all right. He was a good player. It's a shame. It's a shame that he's had his off-field problems.
Well, it's the same with Tanner Bruin, same with Jamara, same with Tarrant Thomas. I mean, everyone's forgot about him. The fact that he apart from North fans, and the guy was probably a top 10 talent in the league. Like, there's just these stupid idiots. When you give, it comes down to it, right? When you give kids, and I say young Indigenous kids, but unfortunately that's the stereotype at the moment. If you give these kids huge amounts of money and then they get the wrong crowd around them, that's it, Joe. Kaput. So, yeah,
exactly.
That's the case with a few people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm just looking through the ins and outs. Nothing really that's too relevant, I don't think.
AFLW, Lauren Young has been named for Port, finally. I know that she's had some issues in the past, so congrats to her for finally getting debuted. Should be in everyone's team. 300k forward from Port Adelaide.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll do that now then.
Yeah, she's a pretty good player.
How do you know her?
Because she's been all the talk.
Has she?
Yeah, she's like, just get her in because eventually she's going to debut. So, and then she's debuted. So there you go. For those people that have kept Tessa Boyd, I know Corey's been telling me on Twitter. Congratulations. She's been a great pickup and now finally coming back, which is cool. Yeah.
Oh, Boyd's back.
Yep. I know a few people held her in the back line. So yeah. Show us your finals team for this week, Joe.
Yeah, all right, I'll do that now.
Throw mine up too. Maybe I'll do mine first while you do stuff.
Sure.
Share screen. There you go. Cool. So this is my finals team, guys, heading into this week. It was really awkward. I had a lot of Gold Coast and Adelaide players and didn't really score that well this week. Wonder why? Because I had a lot of Gold Coast and Adelaide players. Zorko Stewart in the back line. Dunkley, Dacos, Newcomb there. I would love Bailey Smith in the team, but I just can't put him anywhere. Yeah, Zorko Stewart, Dunkley, Nick Dacos, Di Newcomb, Lloyd Meek potentially with the captain. Joe kind of sold me on the Degoe. I've gone Hardwick. Watching how he's been playing in this Hawks team the last couple of weeks has actually been really good. So throwing him in the forward line, there's not really much selection. I did have Ginnivan. I had Dylan Moore in that forward line as well. So, yeah, and then Max Holmes as the flex. Excuse me. So I'll play around with it for a little bit, but yeah.
All right, this is mine. So I've gone with, let me zoom in. Not too much. All right, so I've gone Zorko and Stewart in the back line. I think Zorko, obviously, with kick-ins and good ball use. And I don't think Collingwood's forward line's really going to, no one's going to play a defensive role on him. So I think he'll be fine. I think Tom Stewart, he's just a gun. He stands up in big moments, could take intercept marks, could take kick-ins, switching of play if they want to be really patient. Could go with Stewart there. I've gone with Ashcroft Dunkley in the mids. I did have Newcomb, but I changed it to Ashcroft. I just think because the Lions are going to win, and obviously he's playing more on ball, there's no Lockie Neal. So I just think the Dunkley-Ashcroft combination, obviously there's McCluggage as well. They're going to put more attention into that, more effort into that. I think Will just flies under the radar a lot. and can push forward and kick some big time goals. So I'm going to go with the upside in the big clutch goal from Will Ashcroft. So going with Will Ashcroft, Maxi Holmes. I've unfortunately got too many Geelong players, so I can't have Baz and Holmes. I'm just going to go with Holmes because I think Holmes is the better player over Baz, so I think I'll go with him. Meek and the Ruck against Geelong. We know Geelong are a great matchup for Rucks, so I'm actually going to chuck the VC on him as well. Why not? I think he could have a really good game, Lloyd Meek. Have gone with Degoe, obviously playing on ball, getting even better week in, week out after his injury. So I do like Degoe again, kicking. He can clutch some big time goals. Sean Manor is a bit of an interesting one. I am tipping the Cats to win this game, and the message will be bring the ball to ground at all cost for Geelong. And I've gone with Sean Manor. I don't know. It's a little bit of a left field one. If he pushes hard up the ground, maybe some more tackles. Go Smith forward instead of Manor. Who's Smith? Bailey Smith. No, Smith isn't available as a forward in the finals, unfortunately, Langy. If I could, I would. But yeah, Jeremy Cameron. I mean, Jez can still be really good, obviously. But where's Brian Myers? Actually, why don't I have Myers in this team? What?
I don't know.
Freaking Brian Myers, get in there. Or could even be close. So it's either Myers or Close, maybe. Close. What was Close's time up the ground like? I'm gonna do some live research on the fly. Why not? Newcomb will get tagged, so pick Smith instead. I
have done that. I have done that, Corey. Now, thanks for the tip.
So I want to see the up the ground. Who's been more up the ground in the last couple of weeks for Geelong? Has it been Close or has it been Brad Close?
It's been far.
Brad Close. He's more of a half forward, isn't he? 88. He never tons. He never tons up. That's the problem. So Brad Close is a no, whereas Myers can ton up. Obviously, doesn't do it very often, but
and that's why I've gone Hardwick. Don't steal my pick, but that's why I've gone Hardwick. Hawks have been using him quite a lot up the ground, and I think he's a sneaky selection.
So why have you gone with Blake Hardwick for?
Takes intercepts, been kicking a lot of goals, plays basically everywhere across the ground, and has been really good the last couple of weeks. Even just the game last week, he was just everywhere.
Yeah, well, the stats look all right.
That's why I picked him. that's why I put him in my team, Joe, because the stats are good and he's available as a forward. So why not?
Right, why would you not pick him?
Nah, don't pick him. He's a sneezer. He's shit, Joe. Do what you like. I don't care. I don't care. So don't
if you don't laugh, you cry, mate. If you don't laugh, you cry. What can I say?
I don't think we're in line to.
It's either Meek or Decam. Who's better, Meek or Decam? Decam playing against the Lions. The Lions. Nah, Meek's playing against freaking Geelong, bro. They got no rucks.
Exactly. That's why I picked him.
Don't even overthink it. Could be McCluggage. McCluggage burnt me to oblivion in the first final. Maybe that's why I'm staying away from him. How did McCluggage do last week?
Not that great.
How did the suitcase go? Has he packed his bags? The suitcase? Last week he scored 116. 116 last week. That's what you like to see. Of course, guys, look at this passage. Look at this stretch of games. Guess when I owned him.
When he wasn't doing that good.
In this stretch of games here, over the last, how many weeks are we talking now? We're going to talk in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. In these whole stretch of games, in these 25 games, where the lowest he's gone is 80, guess when I owned him? When he scored 53. I broke him. I freaking broke him. The second I picked him, he lays an egg. 53. So maybe I feel a bit traumatized and not wanting to pick him. How does he normally do against Collingwood? Let's have a look. Against Collingwood, McCluggage. Tends to score. Can we just please? There we go. Jesus. 157. Why is it getting smaller? Freaking my computer's doing stupid things. 157, 80, 123, 110, 126, 93, 64, 129, 113. I want MCG.
Time for the computer fund, Mark.
MCG. Look at that. MCG, the last 3 MCG games, he's got a 126, a 123, and a 157. He's done very well against Collingwood at the MCG, has Hugh McCluggage. Very well. How has Will Ashcroft done? Was using Smith as a forward during the season. Yeah. It's changed, Langy. It's changed in the finals. In my team, I've just taken all the pigeons out of my side, all in on the pussy. Big Lloyd. Yes, sir. Meek versus Blixarves and Sam DeConning. I'm picking both rucks. Both rucks? Nunny? What do you mean both rucks? Oh, Meek and Decam. Oh.
Yeah, because you can do put him as flex.
You shifty bugger, Koza. You naughty. Does Holmes not have the defense option for... No, Holmes is purely a midfielder, Langy. Yeah. Purely a mid. All right, let me see. Against Collingwood, 86 and 92. All right, we're going to go with McCluggage. We're going to go Hugh. Hugh McCluggage. There he is. We're going to do Hugh McCluggage. Dacos. How can you not go with Dacos? Playing at the MCG. How can you not go with Nick Dacos at the MCG?
That's why I picked him.
You just got to go. Nick Dacos at the MCG.
That's why Big J picked him.
You just got to pick him. I don't know. And then...
He's playing for a grand final, Joe. I don't think he's going to go soft, yeah?
And there's Darcy Cameron. What did he do? 94. Really? Only 94? Against Riley O'Brien?
Rob's pretty restrictive, yeah.
Bro, Rob is ass. Rob can't kick a ball to save his life. Did you see that kick from Riley O'Brien? I can see why they wanted Draper.
No. But, I mean, Rob is... he's restrictive against ruckman. Like, he's a good ruckman. He might be shit at kicking the ball, but you don't pick Rob to kick the ball. Like, if you get a kick in the game, if you get a kick in the game with Rob, like, you're onto a winner. Like, let's be honest, right? He's you're very, very lucky.
All right, I'm happy with this. This is a team. This is my team. Zorko Stewart, Dunkley McCluggage, Maxi Holmes, Lloyd Meek, De Goey, Hardwick, and Dacos.
We literally have one player different.
Who's the different? McCluggage?
Yeah, I have Bailey Smith. And you have McCluggage. That's all right. Doesn't matter. That's what happens. When you make content together, like that's just what happens. No, keep him. Keep him. It's fine. Oh, you're going to pick Bailey Smith? Oh. Do it.
We are one, but we are many.
Why not?
Nah, you know what? Stuff it. I'm actually going to back in myself. I'm not going to go with Baz. I'm going to go with McCluggage. I'm going to go with Huey. We share our dreams and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian. That song always brought a tear to my eye. Love that song.
Yeah, sure.
Beautiful song. Should be our national anthem, I reckon. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we head off?
Nah, all good.
Joe, you're 2 points in front of me on the leaderboard. Really? Oh, 2 points. 2 points. Hey, that's better than none. Better than no point.
Pretty good.
Let's have a look. I was fifth ranked this week because I had a shocking game. I had a shocking first week. Bloody McCluggage destroyed me with the captain.
I tanked. I was number 1.
Down to 7.
Yeah. Did not do very well with my solution.
I think I was 17 or 16, and I've made my way up. I've made my way up to 11. So how far are you ahead of me? 130 points. Jesus.
Yeah, good first week.
Come on, I really need Baz to do shit. I really need McCluggage to go bananas. I need him to go bananas. Oh God. But yeah, the McCluggage captain in week 1 in the finals, Bryce, he scored 50 points. He scored 53. My captain triple score was 159.
Mm-hmm.
That's just disgusting. So yes, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing this week. Let us know in the comments below, guys, what your team's looking like, who you've picking, who you disagree with, which team do you like better? Are you team McCluggage or are you team Baz? Let us know. Otherwise, yes. Otherwise, that just about does us. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you enjoyed what you had to hear or see here today, please like, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell to not miss out any of the videos and the live streams that we put up on a regular basis. And love the banter, love the discussion today. A lot of disagreement when really there really wasn't any disagreement to be had. Completely agree with you. Luke Jackson all the way.
Yeah, pretty much, hey. Guys, I'm going to try my best to get Joe to come and watch the Essendon/North game next Friday. I don't know what his plans are at the moment. Next Friday. I'm going to try and get you to go. Maybe if you guys are down at the game, you can come and say hello. I know Cause is going to the game. So I think it's only $15. Go watch Essendon get slaughtered by North Melbourne. So.
Yeah, pay $15 to go watch my team get absolutely shellacked. I mean,
I'll shout you a pie, Joe, so you'll be okay. You know, why not?
Well, this Friday, it's 3:05 p.m.
Yeah, because it's a day off for everybody. Yeah, Victorians have the day off.
Right, it's a public holiday next Friday.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, hey, let's go and do it because it's a public holiday.
I'm just looking at him like 3:05 p.m. The fish. Who's going to take time off work to go watch that? And then it's like, oh no work.
Day off.
No work. I keep forgetting about that. All right, mate. Thanks, guys, so much. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the footy, and we'll see you all next week. He's dead to me. He is dead to me, the scumbag. Unbelievable.